What if everything painful you went through, every time you felt unloved, invisible, or rejected, was actually preparing you for something sacred? There are people in this world who were chosen by God long before they even knew who they were. These people often carry emotional wounds that began in childhood, wounds that came from being treated like they didn't matter by the very people who were supposed to love them. Parents, family, and others who should have protected and cherished them instead made them feel small, misunderstood, or unworthy. But the truth is, they were never unloved by the divine. In fact, they were so deeply loved, so spiritually important, that their worth couldn't be measured by ordinary eyes. Their soul carried something powerful, something sacred, and because of that, their life had to be different from the beginning. If you've ever looked at your life and wondered, why did I have to go through so much? Or why didn't my parents love me the way I needed? This message is for you. The pain you experienced wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It wasn't because you were broken. It was because you were chosen. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were sent here with a divine purpose. And that kind of purpose requires a different kind of journey. While others may have been shielded from pain, you were shaped by it. While others were being comforted, you were being called. From the moment you were born, your soul was on assignment. Even if no one else saw it, even if you forgot it for a while, it's always been there. Your life was not meant to blend in. You were sent to stand out, to carry a light strong enough to change the atmosphere around you. But that kind of light doesn't come easy. It has to be lit in the darkness. And so your journey began not in comfort, but in challenge. You might have grown up watching other children get praised and protected while you were judged or ignored. You may have asked yourself, why me? And here's the answer. Because you were the one strong enough to hold the truth. You were the one brave enough to carry healing into places where others had only known pain. The people around you may not have understood you, but that doesn't mean you were wrong. They may have seen you as too emotional, too intense, too serious, too different. But those qualities weren't flaws. They were signals that your spirit was awake before theirs. You weren't born into your family by mistake. Your soul was sent into a bloodline that needed change. A line full of hidden wounds, silence, and unspoken suffering. But you weren't sent to carry on those patterns. You were sent to break them. You were sent to heal them. You were sent to be the one who says, "This ends with me." That's why your path wasn't easy. You weren't given comfort. You were given a mission. And missions require fire. Missions require strength. You didn't fit in because you were never meant to. Your childhood may not have felt safe, but it was sacred training ground. Every harsh word, every silent moment, every time you cried alone was preparing your spirit to carry something that most people can't. You were learning to listen deeply, to feel what others ignored, to stand tall when no one stood beside you. You didn't learn love from those who hurt you. You learned it by reaching beyond them. You didn't learn trust through being supported. You learned it by being guided from within. You didn't need the crowd's approval to know who you were. Your soul already knew. You may carry pain from your past, but that pain unlocked your gifts. The neglect you felt taught you how to read energy. The rejection taught you how to find your own truth. The silence taught you how to hear God's voice. While others were being comforted, You were being called. Your pain didn't break you, it built you. It opened the door to your purpose. It helped you become someone with deep empathy, strong intuition, and wisdom far beyond your years. Your parents may not have been able to give you what you needed, not because you weren't worthy, but because they were struggling with their own demons. Many chosen ones are born to broken parents, people who were never taught how to love themselves, let alone someone else. Their harshness wasn't about your value, it was about their wounds. But even in their brokenness, they unknowingly played a role in your awakening. Because when they couldn't give you love, you were guided to find it in spirit. When they didn't support you, you learned to lean on divine guidance. When they left you empty, you turned to the one source that never leaves, the light of God. And in that secret space, between the loneliness and the silence, you found something eternal. You found your real strength. You found the truth of who you are. The isolation you felt growing up wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It was teaching you how to walk alone so you could one day lead others. It was teaching you how to stand in your truth, even when no one else could see it. You weren't being forgotten. You were being formed. You weren't being ignored. You were being invited into a deeper relationship with the divine. And now you carry something within you that no one can take away. You weren't made to follow. You were born to lead. And leaders are not made in comfort. They are made in pain, in silence, in moments that seem invisible to the world. From the very beginning, you were asked to carry more, not because you were weak, but because your soul could hold it. You were trained to question what others accepted. You were taught to listen to your inner voice, not the noise around you. And that inner voice, it was God all along. So now, if you feel this message is speaking to your heart, know this. You are not here by chance. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. Everything you went through was part of a bigger plan. You were never meant to live small. You were never meant to stay hidden. You were meant to shine. And your story, with all its pain, is not a curse, it's a doorway. A doorway into your power. A doorway into your purpose. A doorway into your divine calling. If your heart feels this truth, type 111 in the comments as a sign that you are stepping into the light you were born to carry. You are chosen. You are protected. And the journey that once hurt you is about to become the journey that heals others through you. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to rise. The pain you went through wasn't just there to make you suffer. It wasn't a punishment. And it wasn't because you were weak or forgotten. It was a kind of training for your soul. Life was not trying to hurt you. It was trying to shape you. The harsh experiences you had were lessons in strength, in truth, and in faith. You were learning to stand alone, even when it felt like nobody stood with you. You were being taught to speak the truth, even when your voice shook and your heart pounded with fear. You were being prepared to walk into the unknown, not with answers or a clear path, but with nothing but your faith holding you up. These moments didn't come to destroy you. They came to build something deep and sacred inside of you. You weren't just growing older. You were being spiritually awakened, step by step. Because your soul did not come here to follow the crowd or get lost in the noise. You came here to lead, not with force or pride, but with quiet, deep light that changes everything around it. You were always meant to carry a kind of energy that could shift whole atmospheres simply by being present. And that kind of power, that kind of sacred responsibility, could only be created through fire, through hard experiences that forced you to look within and still come out whole. You survived not just to keep going, but to become the person you are becoming now. There is something very special about your journey. You are someone who is meant to help others heal. Your story is not small. The things you have been through, the pain you've carried, the battles you've silently fought, those are not just random things that happen to you. They are pieces of something sacred. Every scar you carry has a story behind it. And that story is not a story of weakness. It is a story of strength. One day, someone else will be in a place where they feel broken and lost, and your story will be the thing that gives them hope. You may not understand it now, but everything you went through, especially in your childhood, wasn't only about you. It was part of a bigger plan, something divine, something that saw the healer and the guide you were always meant to be. The loneliness, the rejection, the deep feeling of being misunderstood, it wasn't to punish you. It was to open your heart wider than most people's hearts ever get opened. It was to create inside you a kind of compassion, a kind of love, a kind of empathy that cannot be learned from any book. Only real pain can teach that. Only real heartbreak can show you what it truly means to care for others who are hurting. You became someone with the ability to understand others without them even having to explain everything. You became someone who knows how to sit with pain, not judge it, not try to fix it right away, but just sit and feel it because you've been there. And because of that, one day someone will be in your presence and they will feel seen and understood for the first time in their life. Not because you gave them advice or tried to solve all their problems, but simply because you've walked through the same shadows they're walking through. They'll feel your spirit, and in that moment, something inside them will start to heal. Your light will remind them that they are not alone. Your presence will remind them that healing is possible, that destiny is real, that even the most broken moments can lead to something beautiful. Your story will touch people's hearts in ways you cannot even imagine. It will speak to the silent places in others, the parts they haven't shown anyone. And the reason your story will have that kind of power is not because everything went right in your life. It's because you survived when everything went wrong. You stood back up after being knocked down again and again. You kept going when others would have given up. You didn't let the fire destroy you. You let it shape you. And that's why your light is so powerful now. Because it came from the deepest darkness, and you still chose to shine. That is your gift. That is your purpose. To turn pain into something meaningful. To turn wounds into wisdom. To take trauma and turn it into transformation. You didn't come here to be average. You didn't come here to be small. You didn't come here to live in quiet suffering or seek approval from people who don't understand your heart. You came here to rise. You came here to awaken. You came here to break cycles that have been passed down for generations. You came here to carry light into places where darkness has lived for too long. And every painful thing you went through was preparing you for that mission. You were never truly abandoned, even when you felt alone. You were being aligned, slowly and painfully, but perfectly. You were being moved away from what wasn't meant for you, even when it hurt. You were never truly rejected. You were being redirected. The people who left, the doors that closed, the situations that didn't work out, they weren't failures. They were redirections. The trials you went through were never signs that you were cursed or unloved. They were signs that your life has a higher calling. Your spirit was being stretched, strengthened, and shaped so you could hold the kind of light this world needs. You are not invisible. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are still rising. You are walking the path you were born to walk, even when it doesn't feel like it. And if this message touches something deep in your heart, if it makes you pause or feel something heavy or warm in your chest, that's not random. That's your soul recognizing truth. That's your spirit remembering who you are. Don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. This is a reminder, a confirmation, a whisper from the divine, from your angels, from the universe, that everything you've been through mattered, that your pain had a purpose, and that your future holds more light than all the shadows you've walked through. Nothing you've lost will stay lost forever. Nothing you've been through will be wasted. Every tear, every sleepless night, every broken piece is part of the masterpiece being made from your life.